Micah Frankel, Cage Minds. Interviews are energized by our friends at Dubby. It's 10% off with the checkout code Cage Minds. And you can get your hair done looking as good as I do at Barber, Gabe's Fades here in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Lobo Plaza. July 27th, we're at Isleta Resort and Casino. MMA returns to that venue with APFC, a middleweight title fight in the main event. Dahlen Wilson, how's that sound?
Good.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Middleweight title fight, a debut with a new promotion, UFC Fight Pass. You're taking these progressions in your career. What does that mean?
It just means I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's leveling up. You know, I'm leveling up in competition and skill, and you know, it feels good, man. It feels good to know that I'm doing things as I need to be doing them. I'm handling business as it needs to be handled. You know, I'm just grateful for the opportunities, man.
You get a victory here at Fight World, a main event in Albuquerque, and then you're able to quickly turn around and get another opportunity. When you look back at that last fight, full debut at middleweight, how do you digest your performance and what you're most proud of from that effort?
You know, my performance wasn't, it's a little tough to say because my performance wasn't where I wanted to be. I am a stickler on myself though. But you know, I was just happy that my mentality and my heart were still in it. You know, like I didn't quit. I know I lost that first round to James, like no question. Anybody who watches that fight, yes, like that round was his, but I came back. And I didn't stop. I didn't quit. I didn't let it get to me. And it shows me that my mind and my heart are still strong and I'm still in it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that, man. I mean, I reflect on that fight a lot. I look at it. I look at the mistakes I've made and everything. But I also realized that was the first fight back after my accident. And, you know, I give myself a little bit of grace, not too much now and everything, because that would mean I'm taking away from my opponent, which James is a stud. Like, no question about it, dude. So, but I'm definitely happy that this and this are still in this.
How much of a question was that for you throughout fight week, because, or even in the process to lead up to camp? Because I would imagine a lot of people would think 10 weeks, 8 weeks in this gym, day in, day out, getting punched, coming to practice, living here as you do. That should have answered a lot of those questions, whether you had the desire and the want to still be a part of the sport.
You know, you would think so, but I'll be honest, man, when the cage door closing and the lights turning on really reveals people. You know, there are many people, and I'm sure every gym can relate to this. There are people in this gym or in any gym who are they're studs. You see them in sparring or in training, they're monsters, hitting mitts. They're just animals, right? But the lights turn on them and they can't rise to the occasion. And you know, in here is a controlled environment. Training is a controlled environment. And so this is where you know it's okay to make mistakes and do these things, but you're kind of, you know, it's kind of a bit of a comfort zone. And so I wanted to see, I wanted to see how I was in that environment. You know, new opponent, new weight class. You know, do I still got this? You know, can I still push through the adversity? Can I turn it back on? And you know, the answer was yes, obviously. But you know, when you're in here and stuff, you know, in my mind, I'm taking notes. Like, I'm like, okay, I did this wrong, I did that right. I got, you know, I'm listening to the coaches, I'm talking to them. But, you know, it really gets answered when the cage door closes. You know, these guys in here, they know you. You know, like, no one, if they're, unless they're a jerk, none of your teammates they'll push you. They'll crank up the intensity, but no one's gonna try to put you through that mat in there. No one's gonna try to genuinely hurt you. But my opponent will. The chains are off, right? The shin pads are off. We're not 16 ounces, we're not puffies, we're 4 ounces. And that's when that's when you need to know, hey, are you really about this? Do you really want this? So that's why I felt like, even though, yes, I had a good camp and stuff, it was that I needed to find out for myself in that night. So that was why I didn't really factor in my training too much.
You're such an in-depth thinker. Does it come to you during the fight, or is it a reflective state afterwards? Like somewhere in the first round where James has your back and you're having to fight out of it, are you in the consciousness of, shit, I really love this, or was it something afterwards that came over you?
Honestly, it was honestly thinking, there was no thinking like, crap, I don't want to be here. Honestly, like, to be perfectly honest, James hit that takedown, that throw so smooth, I didn't even know what happened until I looked at, like, I made eye contact. I'm like, oh God, I'm down. He took me down. I was like, I gotta move. When he had my back, I kind of felt home. Because I didn't think, first off, I wasn't thinking about any outside things. Like, I was in the process, first and foremost. Secondly, it was, okay, take a breath. We spent dang near 3 months here, bro. We had everybody taking our back, rear naked, body triangles, everything they could think of. Every wrestling session, every sparring session. Hey, you get Dahlen's back, you choke him. We're here, we've been here before. That was my thought process. All right, now just work. And luckily, when I finally got into the position where I was on top of him, I wasn't even worried about the triangle because, which also let me know I can still assess situations. I'm like, okay, I'm taking stock in like milliseconds. Okay, he's head against the cage. I'm right here. He can't choke me. He can't invert. He can't do anything. I'm safe right here. I can start throwing. That was pretty much my process. Like, I didn't like the thought of, crap, maybe I'm messing up. Oh crap, I'm gonna lose. None of that came in. And again, that fight from the beginning to the end let me know my mind was still intact. I still had my warrior mindset that I didn't care. Nothing else outside that cage mattered. I was strictly focused on the task at hand. I was in the process. And that's why I made it through that first round. And that's why I won that fight, is because once the round was over, the round was done. Hey, let's not reflect on that. But we're not, no pity parties. Come on, we got to get to work. I mean, if you rewatch the fight, you can see me jumping up and down, going, "All right, Dahlen, come on, wake up. We're here now." And sure enough, I saw the shot. I landed it. I got him on the ground the second round. Handled him the second round. Third round, I was on. I was awake. I was the Dahlen I knew was back. So.
We did an interview after the fight, and there was a person hanging out kind of outside the doorway there to see you. After what had happened, after the tragedy, there was a person that you told me in the last interview that was positive mindset right away that you were coming back. It was your mom, and then she's there at Revel. What was that moment like afterwards, being victorious and getting to celebrate with her?
It was great. Honestly, my mother, there's no other way to say it, man. My mom's a G. And there were two people there that night. Actually, there were three people there that night. My aunt and my mom, of course, but the love of my life, my girlfriend, Desiree McMillan, she was there that night. And I'll be honest, it was, my mother gave me, I was in Colorado. We had just got out the hospital because of what happened. And she says, you're jumping up a weight class. You got to go hard. You got to get into it. You got to be ready. And I'm like, where did this come from? I felt like just 2 days ago you were telling me, hey, you might want to reconsider your life choices. But she said, well, you're clearly going to do this and you're passionate about it. So you need to, if you're going to do this, you need to do it. And my mother always taught me, if you're gonna play the part, play the part. I learned that when I was getting for prom, and I had this nice 3-piece pinstripe suit. We were going like straight up like Lucky Luciano or Al Capone, and I was gonna make the mistake and wear some white socks with it. I'm like, ain't nobody gonna notice my socks. My mom stops and she says, like, if you're gonna play the part, you play the damn part. And that taught me, like, you don't half step. Either you do it all the way or you don't do it at all. And she's like, if you're gonna do this, you better go hard. You're gonna have to get on it if you're jumping up a weight class. People are already bigger than you at 170. You're jumping up a weight class. If you're gonna handle it, you better handle it. So there was that, but I won't lie to you, having my woman there too really did something for me, because that first round, everybody was freaking out. I had everybody telling me when I got back to the gym or after the fight, dude, don't scare me like that again. Oh my God. Like, dude, we were worried about you. And I'll never forget, one of my teammates told me, he's like, dude, we saw your girl there. Bruh, you got a real one. I was like, what do you mean? She was the only one when you were in that first round who did not panic. She was the only one not screaming it. She was the only one just saying, okay, you're okay. She was calmly saying, you're okay, you're fine. Having people, much less women like that in your life, man, it does something to you. It reminds you of what you've come through, what you've sacrificed, and how you've grown from it, how you've gotten through the other side of your trials and tribulations. So it was amazing. It was great it's always great to have them there celebrating with me. But again, like I told you previously, that victory to me that night meant more because it was about, I didn't want the trauma to win. And I told myself, win, lose, or draw, you walk out there with your head high. As long as you make sure, as long as you know within your heart and mind, you fought your damn fight, you fought your ass off. Whatever the result is, you walk out with that head high because you won a different battle.
It was such a big victory on that night with all the emotional circumstances and physical that came with it. Mm-hmm. Is it a different, is there an ease almost to this camp, knowing that you're wanting it, knowing that you're focused, knowing that you're healthy, having all these emotional and internally pressurizing questions answered? It's fighting, it's stressful, but is there a different tenure to this camp?
There is. I'm not superhuman. I will never, and I don't fake the funk. You will never hear me sit here. I don't do false bravado. Oh no, I'm not nervous. I'm gonna kill the guy. No, that's not me. It never will be me. It never has been me. I take every fight seriously. I take every fight to heart. Not in the sense I make a bigger deal out of it or I bring emotion into it. No, it's all just business, but I take this seriously. Yes, there is a sense of ease in the fact that I belong here. The ease doesn't come from making the weight, or it doesn't come from the training. To me, that's like brushing your teeth and washing your backside, man. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm a professional fighter. That's things I'm supposed to do. The ease comes from knowing that I earned the right to be in that cage. I earned my opportunity. I'm not gonna say I deserve it. No, I earned it. By way of my training partners, my coaches, I earned my spot. That's where the ease comes in, knowing that I'm supposed to be in that cage, knowing that this opportunity is something I'm supposed to be doing. Because everything that glitter ain't gold, man. There's been many of opportunities that some I've taken, some I haven't, that really were not for me. They weren't in my best interest. And not even just fighting, just life. But knowing that I'm supposed, I earned this opportunity, that's where the ease comes in. Am I still nervous? Of course, there's always nervous. There's always nerves because it's the unknown. You never know what could happen and everything. I don't care how many times you watch an opponent, you don't know it until you get in there. But I feel I'm able to have, the roller coaster isn't as bumpy this time around because yes, I know I'm back. I'm back to myself. I've returned stronger than ever from those battles. I know my thresholds. I know what I can accomplish. I know what I'm capable of.
Rolando Dunlap is going to be coming here to New Mexico. APFC middleweight titles on the line. Main event, July 27th. He's a karate striker, a striking first guy. Possible, guys, actually even bigger than James. I believe an inch taller is what I saw him listed as. How much different of a puzzle do you feel like this is going to be with a striker in front of you?
It's different problems, but they're problems I've seen before. There's nothing super crazy that makes me and this is just me being me. It takes a lot for another human being to shake me. But to be perfectly honest, I see the guy, I saw his fight and I was impressed. I got a smile on my face because I come from a karate background myself. And I got a smile on my face. I'm like, hey man, his kicks are great. He has great kicks. I thought it was very interesting. I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen something like this. It was cool watching it. But to me personally, it's nothing super crazy I haven't seen before, I haven't dealt with. So, the only option is to just get in there and do my thing. I offer the utmost respect to him for the simple fact that, making the walk is just it's crazy, man. It's not something normal people do. So big up to the guy and everything, man. And, I see his skill set, but I do feel like it is something I can handle for sure.
At 4-0, he's young, he's got that aura of confidence, like he can't be touched. You were there at one point. How do you feel your experiences, the ups and downs that you've dealt with, will be beneficial to you, where he kind of only knows moving forward and not really dealing with adversity?
You know, I won't say that the guy hasn't dealt with adversity, because I don't know his life. I believe, from what I understand, I heard him say in the last fight, the fight I watched, he was a former Marine or something. So the guy's definitely dealt with adversity. The guy's definitely mentally tough. But me personally, you know, I feel like, you know, nobody's unbeatable. Nobody's unbeatable, right? No, I see the man, not the myth. You know, he's got 4-0, and I do remember when I was there and everything. I do remember when I was that young upper guy and was fighting the more advanced guys and stuff like that. At the same time, that's the thing. I don't take it lightly. I don't care what we look like on paper, you know, I'm gonna take you seriously and everything. So me personally, I'm interested to see what it's gonna be like in the cage. You know, that's the telltale, like I've said previously, man. That is where you find out things and everything. So I'm really interested to see what this is like. I mean, as far as being big, yeah, they're all big. They're all big. I'm 5'7", bro. All right. I'm 5'7". I'm short. They're all big. They're all tall. They're all strong. You know, I just remember, like, even though I'm not the biggest, like, you know, they're all strong, but so am I. You know, like I said, I've earned my spot. I've earned my right in that cage, and I'm just looking. My only concern is getting my hand raised, is focus on the task at hand. Like, it's cool that it's a title fight. It's cool that it's a main event. It's cool the attention it's getting, but to me, that's all just noise. My only task at the end of the day is getting my hand raised and fighting the best fight I can.
What are those keys then to doing that? To not getting the victory, first off, but to being the best Dahlen in that cage that you can be?
Well, first off, you know, handling priorities as a professional fighter, and that means making sure I'm making the training sessions, all my training sessions I'm supposed to be making, handling my priorities outside so I can focus strictly on the fight. I don't have any outside influences. As far as in the fight, just not hesitating. Just going, you know, just going. Not worrying about mistakes or anything like that. You know, all the meticulous planning's been done. We've done that. At this point now, it's just time to go in there. My mind is gonna be free, and I'm gonna let my hands go. And you know, a lot of people in New Mexico only saw me fight James. They didn't get to really see the Dahlen that everybody else knows. You know, they didn't get to see that. They saw a good Dahlen, but they didn't see this Dahlen, the Dahlen that has all that, you know, external stuff brushed off his shoulder, that's focused and ready. So that's my keys to doing it, are just moving forward, not hesitating, and believing in myself.
I look forward to it, guys. July 27th. It's a Sunday fight night. We'll see it at Letta Resort and Casino. And if you can't be here locally, you'll see it on UFC Fight Pass.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Comfort Suites in Albuquerque Airport for the sponsorship. If anybody's coming in from out of town, that's the spot you want to go to lay your head, man.